Good morning, traders. So how do we trade the Aussie using Bill Williams? Okay, so looking at the 4 hour, you can see we've got a grouping of the oscillators and a crossover that is brewing at the moment. No diversions or anything else on the awesome oscillators indicating a turn, but we are at a level and we have had a 4 hour engulfing candle. Okay, so there is a good possibility that this level is going to be respected. However, I will take that with a pinch of salt until such time as this trend line breaks. Okay, so let's just get down to, the 30 minute and we can work from there. Got the trend line in, you can see there it is. And we are pretty close to it at the moment. Okay, so we've had the diversions. You can see the 30 minutes. We had diversions on the 30 minute. We had the awesome oscillator moving to the downside, indicating that this move could potentially be coming to a close. And we have sold off here. And the other thing that you need to just be aware of is that we had a consolidation pattern, in other words, a triangle here, you see, and that broke to the downside. Okay, so here in an ideal world, we'd like to see a retest the breaks, in other words, move back up here and then start selling off here. That would be ideal, but we do live with the Aussie and nothing works according to ideal price action or ideal technical analysis. So anyway, I want to delete that and I want to get rid of that noise. So first things first, the open range break, the closing range breakout strategy was kind of, it stretched for the breakout target, but it didn't really get there. And that to me is pretty common. So whenever you add a major level, more often than not, it either consolidates like this and the closing range fails to deliver the results, or alternatively, on the rare occasion, it does break through a level and then test the level. So in other words, it breaks up, comes back, and it stays above the blue line here and then continues up. So the minute you saw this break and then back in to the 50% here, now that would have been another entry long, but yeah, it wouldn't have really materialized. Okay, so that was a failure, and what we do have now is a 380 odd point closing range at the moment. Okay, so I just want to pick up the levels of the breakout. Okay, that comes and retests this breakout, which is a fairly significant level. We've got a 200 moving average here as well. And if you look down below, we've also got a breakout level here, which is pretty close to target number 2. Okay, so now that we have our levels, what are we expecting? So I am expecting that this is a turn. Okay, now I just want to, that's the third line. Okay, so we still do have a significant level here as well that we close pretty close. Well, not quite. Okay, so this trend line here, together with this support line, and I'm just going to make it a different color so we know where it is. Let's go with a fire brick. Okay, so if we look at the fire brick line, you can see that is a significant level as well. You can see how price has interacted with this quite extensively in the past. Okay, so that together with this ascending trend line, we have intersecting trend lines here. So there is definitely an area that you can expect a bounce. Now, my opinion right now is that it is really just going to be a bounce, and I'd like to see it a bounce to come back and test the break of the alligator. If we can get that and then some bearish price action up here for another push to the downside. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. We might be completely wrong because just looking at what the US markets are doing at the moment. But anyway, That is my current play at the moment. I'm expecting this to be some downside. What is concerning me is if you look at the Bill Williams here, it's not pointing straight down. So you look at the alligator, it kind of started pointing down and then started pointing to the upside. Okay, now I don't know whether that is because of my charting software, because there is a little, it's indicating that price is up here and price didn't close up there, price closed down here. So take it with a bit of salt at the moment. Okay, so ideal world, I'd like to see us pretty much gap down in this area here, find some support, rally a bit, and potentially come and test either this breakout or that breakout. So in other words, come test these tails or come test these tails here before moving back the downside. That would be an ideal trade. Okay, so that's ideally what I'm looking for. If that doesn't materialize and we sort of gap down and then sort of just stick on this trend line, so what often happens is price just follows this trend line like this and it forms a flag and then breaks through this trend line. That would be an indication as well to pick up the shorts. Okay, anyway, that's my take on it at the moment. May change through the day, but for now, I'm definitely looking for a short opportunity, and I would obviously prefer to get a better risk to reward. So I'd like a bit of a retracement, form a lower high, and then we can take it from there. Okay, just have a quick look at the 6 minutes, and you can see how this was a massive sell-off that we had at the close after a day of just ranging. Okay, so that's pretty much what I'd like to see. I'd really like to see this area here retested. If we can get this area retested, that would make a lot of sense. I don't see any gaps here. So, okay, and then obviously we need to pay attention to Tencent, unfortunately, and Tencent is down 1.5%, and I have a feeling that's on the back of Alibaba. That's also down slightly at the moment, and the rand dollar is pretty much flat, 14.37, so it's still hovering in that same 14.40 area. So I think everything hinges on what happens with the international markets today, and there's a lot of noise floating around about the trade meeting that is not going according to plan. And then you still got the political noise in the US. Okay, so that's my take on this at the moment. Is I'm looking for shorts and I'm looking for this break that's happened. So in other words, this break here, that it's happened to play out. And we didn't actually highlight what that play is. So that would take us down to this 51583 area. Okay, so ideally I'd like to see us come test 51835. Any bearish action there would get me long, sorry, would get me short, and it would be, I'd basically play for these two blue lines, which are our closing range breakout targets, and that is 51300, and the second target would be 51100. Okay, that's my take on this for the day, and stay safe. Let's hope we don't consolidate like this again for the rest of the day, because that's just frustrating, and we get some direction. Anyway, enjoy the day and stay safe. I'll catch up with you guys later. Cheers.